Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Blessings, Lisa. Thank you for always supporting and being here with the Brothers of Legacy. This is Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. This is going to be a great week, an amazing week. We got a lot we're going to talk about and cover this week. Appreciate you guys for being here and rocking with us and hanging with us and being a part of all that we do. So we got some folks going to be coming through in a minute, but I just want to say thank you. Hey, Mom Corey, thank you for supporting. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for always sharing. You know, we come on here every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we discuss everything dealing with men, Black men, fathers, husbands, you know, things that the challenges we face, the triumphs we have, and some of the things we have learned along the way. And I appreciate those that have been watching and being a part of this conversation. And then things that are dealing in our life socially, you know, some of the injustices and the issues or things that are that we are facing around us. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I want to hold you. Sound like church. I want to hold you long. It's a live broadcast. You can leave and come on back. But we're gonna have a great conversation today. Today we're talking about rebuilding broken relationships, friendships, associateships, and all of the like. And we're gonna talk about how we rebuild some and some of the mistakes and missteps that I've made. I know I'm gonna share some stuff as well. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and kick this off, and we'll be right back after.
I want to welcome you to the Brothers of Legacy broadcast, where we are changing our community one conversation at a time, every day.
We are creating a new legacy.
Change gon' come, change gon' come, change gon' come, change gon' come, change gon' come.
A co-op has to start with ownership. Right. We have a mindset of either I want to make a lot of money or survive. Make a bunch of money or I got to figure out how to survive.
When you have a real bond, when everyone has, you know, we come in with real expectations. Mm-hmm. Because this is covenant.
The whole premise is that we as a people, with our money and time, aren't often making this just possible, often vested in the legacy.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We did do the other thing. I appreciate you guys for being here. Happy Monday, Pastor.
Morning.
Like, turn me up a little bit. Unless he's saying, okay. Oh, look, in the wings. All right. Also coming to the stage this Monday morning, all the way from Tennessee, by way of Houston, out of Chicago. I've just made that up. The sportsman himself, Cole A. Johnson. I just made up a middle name too, A. Johnson.
I've only had a cup of coffee at O'Hare. That's the only that's the only time I've actually been in Chicago.
Oh.
Good morning, AD. Good morning, Pastor.
Good morning.
All right. And welcome everybody. Listen, this is your opportunity. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. And today we're talking about rebuilding broken relationships. And what, you know, what it looks like, you know, what did we do to really get out of a space where we can fix something, you know, get out of our head, get out of our emotions, and really start to put together the pieces of something worth having. And like Pastor says, getting out of the cutoff ministry and into a space where we can rebuild something greater. And sometimes you can't always get back what you had, but you could at least start afresh and start something new, and not have that wall, what they call it, the big elephant in the room, lingering when it comes to your relationships. So today we're discussing that and some of the ways we found to overcome some of the ways that we got stuck. Hey, what's up, Miss Kathy? Monday. And we're gonna dig into that. And good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Pastor. Good morning, Cole. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being part of Brothers of Legacy, as always. I just make sure I tell you guys that I really appreciate it, because it's a lot sometimes just to come on every day and just avail your time in the morning to do this, and I appreciate it. So today, like I said, we're talking about rebuilding broken relationships. Let me, and I always throw it out there with the question of, have you struggled like wanting to rebuild something, rebuild a relationship, a friendship, but it was hard because of pride, or I'm not the one that really broke the thing. I might have responded in pity, but I didn't break this thing. No. Was it, and have you had the chance to really be the bigger person to try to mend it, in your life, or most of them, or have you had a lot of, I just let it go. I should have, but I just let it go. Because I've had some of those, like, man, I should have done something, but I went for the easy route and just said, I let it go. So listen, can we have a real moment? You have the moments where if God wanted it to happen, he would have mended it back together.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've heard that.
Right.
No. Look, I'll admit
things in place.
Look, I'll admit, in my 20s, I was like Teddy Pendergrass.
Uh-oh.
And I think I better let it go. Looks like another love TKO.
So would you say like some of those were worth, like, in a sense, fighting for, doing something about instead of letting go? Or did you take the easy route on it?
With maturity, I've learned that I think a lot of the times I did take the easy route. I was like, man, I really don't want to dig deep. I don't want to go introspectively as to what my role was in what caused the friction or fracture.
Right.
And it took my divorce to learn that in order to actually dig deep into the well of how relationships work, how relationships get fractured, and then later on how relationships get mended, is you have to actually look at what your role was in the relationship.
Right.
No matter if you thought you were perfect or if you thought you were a villain, it doesn't matter. You have to look at your role in it.
Right.
And like I said, in my 20s, I was too immature. If I'm really going to be honest, I was too immature to really look at it in that vein. And in my 30s, I started to mature more into that understanding. To now where it almost is old hat for me now to not just look at automatically, he did this to me or she did this to me. Yeah, she's dead to me or he's dead to me. I'm not fool with it because look, I did everything I could. I did everything right.
Right.
And that's that. Now it's like, well, okay, so what did I do to make this relationship go left?
Right. Right.
And then after I comb through that, then I look at what they did. But I have to look at what I did first. Right. But in my 20s, no. Yeah. What they did and what I did didn't matter.
Right. So have you in recent years, have you mended any old relationships, or you kind of like just kind of chucked it as like a regretful moment, or have you like gone back and at least attempted, because though you may attempt some things sometimes it may not work out. Then you're like, well, all right, Lord, I tried. Like, I said I was nice, I was forgiving, like I put my effort, I think, like I feel like I did what I was supposed to do. Have you been in that situation where you either mended or tried to mend a relationship?
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
have, and to what's the phrase? To varying degrees of success, I have done that.
Okay.
With
Okay.
with some relationships, it was like oil and water when we got together, and everything just seemed to not mix right.
Right.
And then a couple of years of perspective was put on the time. And I came back, mended it, and found out that we actually had a little more in common than I thought, and we actually ended up becoming friends. I've
Right.
had that,
Okay.
and I've had the opposite, where what we were, as JJ of Good Times would say, tie on pantyhose is two sizes small, and then we split. We came back. I tried to make amends. It just wasn't working.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I've had both of those situations happen.
I got you. How about you, Pastor? What is your mending process, or have you kind of chucked a lot of relationships that that you felt like were worth mending, or what were some of your challenges or even regrets when it came to certain relationships? And just for clarification, it doesn't all in the conversation is not just like a man-woman relationship,
Right.
those kind of relationships, but we can even talk about friendships and things of that nature, because those break down as well, especially like you get older. Like when you're younger, I guess because we're all around the same block, we can't be mad at each other for so long. And then like, what's the level of what somebody did? Shouldn't do the stick at me. Like, I was just playing. Like, it almost hit me in the eye. Something like that. Or it did hit me in the eye, and I'm done with you. Outside of that, when you get older, of course, we have different lives. We go in different places. It's real easy to disconnect. It's real easy to kind of like no longer being in each other's circle. And so, Paz, what would be some of the situations that you might have been through that you mended or tried to mend, and like what helped you mature in dealing with that?
Well, I think first and foremost, what helped me, or what continues to help me, because it's never easy.
Right.
I still struggle with damaged or hindered relationships, just because I'm an emotional person by nature, and I'm a village person,
Right.
not like YMCA, but
Don't worry, I dated all of us.
Yeah, I think understanding the scripture that speaks to times and seasons
Okay.
helps me when because you recognize there are certain people that are in your life for a season, and sometimes you want the season to last longer than it was designed to last. You just expect a relationship to continue going, and when the relationship is hit, a shift, I won't say an end, but a shift, because sometimes the relationship is just redesigned, but you want to keep it the way it was, and you destroy it by not recognizing the shift.
Ooh.
It's different. It's not over.
Okay.
We used to talk all the time, and
Right.
we don't talk like that anymore. What happened?
Right.
Well, my priorities have shifted. Whatever we
Right.
were talking about then is not my conversation today.
Right.
And it's not that I don't like you. We don't have that in common any longer.
Right.
And when you try to force the issue, you can lose somebody when really all that happened is the relationship adjusted. It tapered a little bit.
Right.
And I think that's a lot of what can happen to people, is missing the shift. And so I've learned that with the change of seasons, relationships have to adjust sometimes.
Right.
So that helps me. It helps me get over myself.
Right.
Whenever I feel like, like sometimes it's not always something that happened between you. It could be something that impacted life and it had nothing to do with you, but it is just the impact of life has impacted how this person views the relationship. You may not have done anything, but I think what happens with us as human beings, we have to create a reason to be mad at somebody instead of just adjusting.
That's deep right there. Like, I hope people heard that one. You kind of create a reason to be mad at somebody instead of adjusting to the season. That's big. That's big. Because I think I'm in my own head, I'm like, I might have done that. just realize, like, yo, this,
I know I've done that. Yeah.
Just this is shifted, and we're not going to talk every day. We're not going to talk as much, or worse, like this, like me and you, Pastor, kind of talk every morning, like after, right? Then all of a sudden, like Cole, you're on, and you guys talk. And then now, Pastor, when it's over, you jumping off and you talking to Cole, like more and more, like whatever it's about sports or whatever, like somewhere there was a click and your season has shifted, Pastor Cole's season has shifted. And now where you guys are aligning. And now I'm like, why do I feel like I'm in a cold, no pun intended, but like you feel like what happened? What did I do? What's wrong? But me and you, as far as our seasons have kind of like parted, we're still connected, but whatever interests have shifted, now Cole kind of fits into that. And Cole, you fit into that. You know what I'm saying? And now, like you said, I'm creating a reason. Oh, it's just because I make something up. Some small shift we had during the broadcast 3 months ago. Like, oh, it's because I said, this, or I didn't agree with Pastor with this, oh, that's big. That's big. And then it's like, do I have the conversation with Pastor and like, why we don't chat as much? And then, am I real, like, about my feelings? Like, it's like you and Cole. Because then I'm like, why does that sounds weird? Like, you and Cole are talking more, and how do you get, and people listening, keep it real, because you have these moments in your head that when a relationship shifts, or it shifts so close to you, like the tracks change and you can see the change, like, why is, things aren't flowing my way, things are flowing this way. How do you respond? Do I get mad? They're like, Pastor, you don't have to be on Brother's Legacy anymore if you don't want to. Like making, now I'm literally not inviting Cole to come on the show at all anymore. Cole's like, hey, you need me? Nah, we good, Chief. You understand what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Like, this is what happens. And it splits, and you like, and people watching the show like, why did, over time, where's past that? Where's Cole? Like, what happened? And this happens a lot. And I'm in my head game and my feelings, but I'm not expressing it. And if I talk to you, Pastor, you like, I'm doing this, and Cole is in that same space. So we have a lot to talk about, and then I was like, oh, I get it. Because like pastors in real estate, like if Cole Cole just bought a building, you bought a building, y'all discussing landlord stuff, and you're just like connecting. And I can listen, but I can't really relate because I'm not in that space. And I'm sorry, I was just thinking about that. Like, this happens a lot. Happens in R&B groups.
Almost all the time. Yeah.
Right. Like, recognize David Ruffin is nice, but David Ruffin, you don't have to control everything. We got your back. Do your solo, but we can all do this together. And everybody gets in their feelings. Like, I know I'm not the best dancer or the best singer, but I'm good in the background. Recognize my role, and we can still make things happen. That's deep. So I don't know. Because I'm being honest, because when I started thinking about it, I was like, that's how you get in your feelings, but nobody says anything. And then maybe Pastor will see, like, AD's acting a little different. Like, the show closes, we all on here, and I'm gone. Like, AD's gone. He never goes, like that. Oh, and who reaches?
Yeah, but I'm gonna reach out. Like, why'd you leave like that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna say yeah.
That's the point. Someone
Yeah.
gotta do the reach out. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
to
you're
your
gonna have to tell me. Yeah.
to your village nature, Pastor. That's what you would do. Yeah.
You just bounce.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, people, you have to hide from me
Right.
because I'm gonna ask. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
tell me, or you're gonna have to hide. And if
Right,
you're hiding,
right.
I know you're hiding. You know you're hiding,
Right.
and you're just making it harder on yourself.
Right.
And I'm going through that right now.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, I called you.
Right. Right.
Crickets.
Yeah. Indeed.
Okay, so now I got your message. Okay, so you don't want to talk to me.
Oh man.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm like, it's, we're living in a day and age where people are extremely sensitive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with my daughter who said that her little boo
Oh no.
says, your dad literally does not like me. Like, he's right. I don't.
That's what I thought.
But
I
I
was
don't
about to
like
say.
any young guys that have a crush on my daughters.
That's what I thought.
I'm not supposed to like you.
Right.
Right. But what's interesting is I said to her,
Thank you, Rollins. And good morning.
I said to her,
Yeah.
I'm following the dad blueprint. Right? For generations, fathers have acted like I'm acting.
Right.
You need to work past me looking sideways at you.
Right.
And prove how serious you are and earn it.
Right.
Which is a lesson that rarely ever is taught to young men when they grow up.
Right. And I'm trying to I'm thinking back to when I had crushes when I was a teenager and the dads that looked down their nose and sideways at me.
Right.
And I had to get over myself. I had to be nervous, but be polite, be respectful, so that he knows I see you watching me. I'm going to behave.
Right.
Nowadays, I'm not saying all, I'm just saying that to have my daughter say, her boyfriend said that to her. Right. I'm like, oh, well, he won't last.
Oh no.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I'm only saying that to say this, and y'all don't know what I'm talking about because I got 4 daughters. I believe that people are so sensitive today. Like I'm like, we got to get over ourselves. Yeah. Not everybody's gonna like you.
Right.
Not everybody's gonna like what you did.
Right.
But if you wrong me, I'm gonna tell you that you wronged me, and then we talk about it.
Right.
But if you wrong me and I tell you that you wronged me and you can't handle me telling you, that's on you.
Right.
If I wrong you and you say I've done something wrong, I'm gonna deal with that. Mm-hmm. I'm hard-headed. I'm not perfect. Right. But I value your friendship more than I value being right.
Right. Exactly. That's good. That's good.
You understand?
Sam made a good point. She said,
100.
She said, but when I say that I'm wrong, folks are way too sensitive.
Oh, no. She said, when I say that I'm wrong.
When I say that I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
No. I'm saying I agree that people are very, very sensitive today. And like, I believe that we have to be conscious of the level of sensitivity that we're interacting with today, because acknowledging that they're sensitive doesn't mean forget you're too sensitive. It means I got to figure out how to manage your
navigate it.
sensitivities.
Mm-hmm. So
and it just creates more work. And a lot of people don't have the patience for that. And I'm cool with that too. Sensitive and always assume the worst. Yeah.
Look at Dr. Rollins dropping that bomb right there. Yes. Ooh.
So okay, let's deal with that sensitiveness, right? Knowing that you're sensitive, like how much is on me or how much is on you. And what I mean, like I am who I am, right? There's tactful ways to say things, but sometimes it doesn't matter how it's gonna sound, what it sounds like. You know, you can't sing it, you can't sing. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like, ooh, baby, that's not your gifting. Like, something, baby, your mac and cheese ain't really your strong point. Like I don't know, like how do you're like I said,
But that's an intimate, like when you're talking to your lady about cooking and stuff like that.
well, no, just even people like even if it was let's throw like church, and we have a potluck, and sister whoever asked me, she asked, she said, "Hey, what you think of that?" And I give my honest opinion in the most respectable way possible, not telling her what it really tastes like, but saying like it.
Yeah, but but the thing is,
something, like I don't know. I'm trying to find a way, not really in relationship, because I know relationships is just a whole nother space of tact and how to deal with. But we're talking in just every day at work and things of that nature.
So here's an example.
Yeah.
If I cook something and you say, "Oh, I didn't like that,"
Yeah,
like, "Oh, I'm going to tell you, oh, something's wrong with your taste buds."
there you go. Right.
Right. But here's the thing. I'm not going to lose a friendship because you said you didn't like it. Right. You could tell me that you didn't like my food, and I said, "Oh no, that's good. Something's wrong with you."
Oh my gosh. Look. Here's a prime example. Pastor's as you can see with the hat. Pastor is a Cowboys fan. Right. I think he's out of his mind that he is one.
Right.
See, there you
but
go.
I'm still gonna be a Dallas Cowboys.
But you're still gonna be a Dallas Cowboys fan. That's still gonna think he's out of his mind and being one.
I think something's wrong with Cole, but we can still be friends.
Exactly.
And I'm passing your taste buds are off.
Right.
But I love that though, man. Taste buds are off. That's a beautiful line, bro.
But therein lies some of the, we come from we have more tough skin. We've grown up going back and forth, being snapping on other, like,
Oh yeah.
When you've grown up like that, that's one thing. But I guess when people I won't even say in a bubble, but either in a protected state, or they're not the ones to go back and forth, and they grow up sensitive, getting correction becomes a challenge, or I guess correction or an opinion made on something that you created, worked your butt off on, that you think is a masterpiece. And when you ask for opinions and it's not, and you're in your feelings, how do I don't, like, that, and that's my thing about the sensitive. And I get it, like being harsh is not always the space. Some people you can just like I can just throw it right at Pastor. He would take it and he would look at it and throw it right back at me. Like if it's hard, but things said he takes into consideration. Like I hear what you're saying, but how do you? It's like navigating those sensitive spaces without lying, though. Like I don't want to lie to you.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to be honest with an opinion. You handled that. You didn't handle that right. You handled that poorly. How you said that wasn't the most sensitive. Or the speech was great. Maybe you could work on this, or things of that nature, while maintaining a relationship with the person as a friendship. So it's anybody have any real good tip that you thought about with the being sensitive? Sam says, "Don't ask. When I do something, I give it my all, so I don't need your opinion or validation. It's great, period." Speaking of sensitivity, what about you?
Lord, no, Mama McCroy, no.
We're not going there. We're not going there this morning.
Ooh, I would disappoint Pastor and AD and hog the mic the rest of this show talking about Kanye West.
What happened? Did something happen?
Oh man, a lot. Maybe
Really?
we may discuss it in the context of a whole conversation.
Mhm.
I mean, if it's dealing with dissolved relationships
Which it somewhat does, yes.
or
Yeah,
sensitivities,
yeah,
Which that also does too. Yeah.
yeah.
Your mother is correct in that on that front. Yes.
Right, right.
Oh,
But so all right. So it says, say it in the manner of what you would want someone to tell you. I don't know though.
that's
I'm
one way to
straight.
go about it.
I don't
bro.
know how you would tell me, like how you would want someone to tell you. So here's the thing when it comes to that, and I definitely understand what Rollins is saying.
I am
You
too.
know,
I do too.
we learned at a very early age, speak the way you want to be spoken to, you know. But what I try to do is I just try to speak. I just try to be nice.
Yeah.
I just try to keep it real.
Yeah.
If it's odd, I'm going to say it's odd, but I'm not going to stand up in front of a crowded room and deal with one person and tell them that they're odd.
Right.
There's a time and a place for everything.
Definitely
true.
And so me and Cole's issue does not have to be me, Cole, and AD's issue.
Right.
Right. Unless Cole makes it
Mm-hmm.
me, Cole, and AD's issue.
Right.
You understand? Like it's between us unless you decide you want to share it with somebody.
Right. That's good.
I like to, when I'm having conversations with people, I'm that guy. I'm like, yeah, act like we in Vegas. If you want it to stay here, it'll stay here.
It'll stay
You
here.
know,
Right.
If you're okay with it being shared, then okay. Just don't come back and say something if you hear it again.
Right.
But I think that when it comes to interacting with people, I do believe treat people how you want to be treated.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes people are so rough around the edges, they don't care about being cussed out, so they're free to cuss people out.
Right.
That's why I was about to say that's one way of looking at it, but exactly what you just said, Pastor. Some basically just believe, look, the truth hurts, and I'm gonna come up with it and intentionally try to hurt you in their communication.
Right.
Yeah.
Robin says,
thank you.
I want honesty, but with respect. I speak to elders different because they are elders and they have lived long enough to be spoken to differently.
But I would disagree because I think you speak with everybody respectfully.
Right. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. I don't think that is limited to elders, Sean. I think you speak to everybody with respect. I think what you're doing is you make a point to be more sensitive to it, more conscious of it when you're speaking to elders, and I completely understand that.
I do
that training is a validation of your parents and putting their foot in your behind growing up. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Right. I'm still careful how I talk to my mother today because she might. I'm like, you know how your parents used to say, "I'm gonna reach through this phone." Right. Because the phone was wired. You had a wire. It was connected to a wall. So in your mind, you felt like they could reach through the wire and smack you. Right. I still believe that my mom can reach through a cell tower. Like deep down inside, I'm still conscious of that.
Right.
Man, I still believe my father could be on the first thing smoking in Nashville if I do something wrong and mess me up.
Right.
I feel like my mother is like Jesus. She can heal from a distance.
I feel you.
Sam says, I want to be spoken to honestly. And
no, she said, I want to be spoken to honestly. Do I speak to other people like that?
Right.
But I want to be spoken
to.
Work
out well most times. Right.
But I think that sometimes people can't handle the delivery, Samantha. Right? I know certain people that change their tone and, well, hey, have you? As opposed to, hey, did you? Just the difference in the tone can impact how somebody perceives or receives or processes something. It's just the truth. It's,
Ron said you have had pictures of your parents on the wall and look like they were literally watching you.
Yes. Not even a question.
In the face,
Yes.
just
Yeah. To the point where I've actually had, I remember one time I was staring at a picture of my parents, had it on my desk, and I think I was just having one of those moments where I just didn't want to be looked at. I looked at the picture and I turned the picture down.
like,
You don't need to see this.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh man, that's funny.
I said I cracked a joke on this guy. I told him, I said, you're probably afraid to lay your cell phone down on your Bible. Some of y'all will get that about 2:00 this afternoon. But so this is something, this topic, man, is like in this season of my life,
right,
coming through the last couple of years, I've had a lot of relationship dynamics.
Okay.
Right. And some of them have been extremely emotional for me, because it's coupled with all the things that have been going on, like being in the house, being sheltered in place, losing my son, and you want people to be in your corner when everybody's going through something. Like, I'm human, right? And people have had expectations of me, like I pastor a church and all of that, but I want to prove that God is able. I want to prove that I can keep fighting, but I'm not trying to prove that I'm inhuman. You understand? Yeah. Because I and I'm just like, if I could put something out here and be transparent, like everybody's going through some emotional upheaval over the last couple of years, and not unlike any other year in life, because these things happen. But just if I talk about my personal life, I have been through seasons. I've had moments where I felt like, people have had expectations on me as if you have not recognized the things that have happened in my life. You know what I mean? Like, these things have happened, and that if this happened to you, how you would be feeling. So why are you clowning in this season when you know what I'm going through?
Right.
And I still have to perform every day, right? And so I have felt pain. I felt emotional pain by people that have known me for a long time and have completely missed the fact that I lost my son.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like it's that was 2020, and so I've had to adjust myself,
right?
And let the word of God be what keeps me, my prayer life keep me, because I continue to serve in the capacity that I've always served. But I've had certain individuals that I was looking for that weren't there. Right. And not only were they not there, I get feedback like I did something. Like, you completely missed. I know pastors ain't supposed to speak like this. We ain't supposed to put our business out there.
Right.
Right. But that's real.
Yeah, because you're human.
That really has happened. And so, like, I love today, I love everybody today that I loved 5 years ago.
Right.
But I'm not communicating with everybody today like I communicated with 5 years ago.
Right.
Right. And so I know that things have happened in my life that have caused me to probably shift my behavior. But I don't feel like people have taken enough time to consider why the shift.
True.
And people have adjusted, but nobody inquired. And when I say nobody, I'm talking about of the people that I'm not really communicating with. Right. And I'm not trying to be sideways. I'm not trying to, put anything odd out there or anything, but I'm saying these are things that just happen in life. And I'm trying to validate it. Not only am I the hair club president,
I'm also a client.
But I'm also a client. You know, it happens to real people in real situations. Like I preach the gospel every week, and guess what? My feelings get hurt too.
Right.
Right.
Indeed.
My mother has been my mother for it'll be 55 years. And it took a long time for me to realize her feelings get hurt too.
Right.
It took a long time,
Yeah.
you know, and like I've talked to my brothers and stuff, and you know, like, why are you tripping with mom? How can you trip with your mother who raised you, who fed you, who clothed you, who, you know, helped you with your healing process, who's been in, you know, like how like I don't know, like I have these like interactions with my children over the years, and I'm talking about repairing broken relationships, right? Because you can get mad at folks that you love with everything, and then they do something that really hurts you, and you don't know how to deal with them anymore. But you've had them your entire life,
right?
And some of those are the most difficult because all of your passions are at the heightened level. Because what's that song? Learn to check on your. Oh yeah, but not only learn to check on your pastor, learn to check on your friends.
Right. Definitely. Gotta check in.
Because like people like I appreciate that, but people keep using this term pastor, but I'm like, this a dude right here. This is B. This is Brian.
It's a human being, right?
I happen to carry the title of pastor, but I was Brian before I was pastor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
so
you're still Brian now.
Yeah. Like I know that there are many pastors, and this is the problem with the church. Pastors go into relationships as pastor.
Right. Well, they leave with it.
Right. I don't go into relationships like that.
Yeah.
I don't. That's not how I was introduced to somebody just the other day. I'm like, hey, I'm Brian.
Right.
Like if I'm in a church setting, a formal setting, I'm Pastor McCrory and Anto sometimes. Right. Exactly. Depending on my mood. Right. But don't be putting my business in the street. So what I'm saying is, never lose sight of the fact that when you know one of the problems with the church is people put you in this pastor category, so they have this expectation. And I'm saying like I can pray with you, but I can also laugh with you.
Right.
I can pray with you, and I can also be mad with you.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
but
so
we put people into the categories, you know, based on because especially in church things, you know, growing up, well, not growing up in church, but being in church, you know, you put pastors in a space not of perfection, but you know, you're my pastor. And
but pastors have done this to themselves.
Right. It's hard to see as anything else.
Act like they're above everybody. We had this, you know, this history where, you know, I'm the pastor, you this, you that, and you know, I don't feel that. No, God is better than wait, hold on, Doc. Wait a minute. Right. You feel pain too, you know. You may not show it in the church, but you're gonna go home and cry like they said in that movie. He gonna go home and cry. He gonna cry in the car.
Cry in the car. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You hold yourself in high regard and all that kind of stuff. But you send this message that you're untouchable. Right. And then you get mad when ain't nobody trying to touch you. Right. And so I'm saying because I've been in ministry for so long, like I've seen this stuff. Like I served on the other side before I hit the pulpit, you know, and I've seen the ugliness of ministry. Right. But I also found out the easiest place to quit is the church. Right. Right.
So kind of on what you just said, Sam had a good time. She said, folks are selfish and then try to be sensitive on top of that. They don't care about what you're going through for real. It's all about them.
I'm sure
that sense is part of selfishness. That, that you're messing up my bubble.
Yeah,
space.
Look, I'm sure Pastor could bore us with a lot of stories of how people could be narcissistic with him.
Right.
And how they deal with the communicative exchange.
Right.
That they forget that they're dealing with a human being on the other end.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like I made the example with, you know, like you connecting with Cole. Let me point the right way. It becomes about me. It's all about me. You know, like I'm not talking, I'm mad because it's all about me. And I'm not in the center of this thing. So I think a lot of relationships break because of that. Going back to the David Ruffin and the Temptations. It becomes a self-centered thing. It's like, we recognize you, David. You good. Why I gotta be you and us, and just being able to have those conversations, because going, and I know it was like movie, but that's kind of like it was real life. The fact that conversations don't happen until I'm at the height of my being upset, instead of like, I'm really good, I can do this thing alone. I'm thinking about solo, like having the conversation. Folks just get mad and break out, and I do with us, and you can come out and break it up. Back in the day when pulpits towered over.
And that's what happened, and so the church is still suffering because of that. But AD, you see what you're talking about is what leads to the broken relationship, right? And if I had $1 for every time I said, "Why did you wait for it to get to this point?"
The perception, the perception of it.
Yeah, like you wait, like it's been ticking for years, and now there's an explosion. You should have talked to me when it was ticking.
Yeah, right? And the person is like, I didn't know it was that bad. Wow.
Right. Because people don't know.
That's my relationship. What's going on with you and Cole? And I just walk out.
Like, what the heck is over they do?
Right. Because I've been watching for the last 3 months. 3 months?
3 months? You've harbored this resentment for that long? Like,
right.
Yeah. And so the longer you wait, the harder it is to rebuild, to repair. And that's what I say to people. We used to say it about the church, but I say it in relationships. The longer you stay away, the harder it is to come back, because habits change. The nature of people is ever evolving. We can find something else to do.
Definitely.
And it's something that we don't ever talk about. Church, not church, doesn't matter. When it comes to, and you mentioned it beautifully, Pastor, earlier, talking about that things shift in your life. Relationships seem to expand. Almost takes you back to the Jabez prayer to pray for the territory to expand and have no sorrow brought upon you.
Right.
Relationships are built to expand. We're built to learn different things about ourselves and about the other person. And the new layer of what we learn, is supposed to help in the overall development of the relationship. And if you look at this, and it's seemingly people hold individuals, not everybody, but many, see to hold individuals prisoner at the moment where the relationship felt good, that sweet spot.
Right.
And say like you say that you went to college with this person and you graduated from college, everything was good, everything was sweet. You went to happy hour every time, you turned it back every night, every Friday and Saturday night. At 25, 26, you shook your groove thing, and then at 45, 46, you've had family, you've had businesses, you've done all this other stuff that has tacked on to it. And you look at this person, and at 20 years before, you connected with them, but the expansion of your life and the relationship didn't happen because that person held you prisoner at age 26. Well, I don't feel like turning up at the club Friday, Saturday night now.
Right.
Heck, I go to bed at 9 o'clock. No, it's not that time. Not that time's gone. That season's over, like you said, Pastor. And you see a lot of those relationships is like that. And I mean, not just relationships in terms of romantic, but the platonic ones too. You just see the expansion of relationship not being accepted or even promoted.
Right.
Because we just hold that person a prisoner at the certain time that everything was sweet.
Right. He said, like McNair said, I'm with you, Cole, but no one wants
to adapt. Exactly, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There are people that I knew when I was 17. And through social media, we've reconnected.
Right.
And I try to, I learned a long time ago that it's really important to be in the moment with somebody. Right. So I try to make a habit of being in the moment with an individual. But I think sometimes if you're in the moment with individuals, they believe it makes them feel like I'm in the moment from when I was 17.
Right.
And what I'm doing is I'm respecting and valuing this moment.
Right.
And then I got to go on to do what I have to do because I'm not the same person from when I was 17. I've got other responsibilities. Right. But I appreciate the connection enough to give you this moment. Right. And if there's another moment like this, I'm going to be in that moment.
Exactly.
But I'm going to give you this moment and then I got to go. And if I got to go, people get mad.
Of course.
And they act like, they make you feel like you act like you're better than other people. You too. You give me 10 minutes, but I can't get an hour. No, you can't get an hour. I got stuff to do, Negro.
Yeah, you too important. Yeah.
Right. My bad. I didn't mean. Yeah, you're bad. You're right.
I didn't know your flock was rolling like that. Okay, sorry, Pastor. Bye. Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's funny. I tell people I'm in IT, but hey, can you help me with my computer? No, because I'm in IT doesn't mean I can help you with your computer. Okay, you can't help me.
You're too goofy to help. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and what happens is you can sever relationships with that kind of stuff,
Yeah, you can.
But you also have to recognize that every broken relationship is not to be repaired.
Ding.
Some folks you just got to step away from.
Yep.
Because the season is over. And you got to be okay with that.
Right.
And that's just real. That's just real talk. Because trying to hold like I don't want to be where I'm not wanted.
Right. Well, yeah, indeed.
You understand?
Right.
And what's really uncomfortable is if I'm done with you and you still chasing me. That's really uncomfortable. How do you deal with that? If I feel like I'm like this relationship has hit its peak and I'm on to different things, I got to go do, like, you can be nice about it, but what do you do when that person is still really chasing you and you're like, I'm just not there anymore?
Just smile and say life is good. Sorry you can't be a part of it.
Right.
And I'm sorry to be that cold of a shoulder with it, but
well, that's what I'm saying. Like you have to be big enough to say, I got to do something else now.
Yeah,
because how do I know if you haven't said anything though? How do I know that this season is over?
Well, yeah, I mean, certain people string you along, but to me, that's selfish. That's being selfish.
I don't know. Is it selfish or just I don't like me?
Selfish. Yeah, because sometimes, well, I'll say not always. Sometimes it's selfish because it's like, ooh, I might need them for this.
Oh, well, I got you. I got you.
I don't want to deal with them, but I don't want to ruin it because I may have to call them for,
right.
And what I'm saying is always based on the situation. Like the scripture tells us, what did Abraham and Lot? You see everything. You pick a side.
Pick whatever you want. Yeah.
Right.
You take your folks and you go over there, and whatever you leave, that's what I'm going to take.
Right.
But I'm done with you.
Right.
And not those words.
But that's it.
But I'm just saying that we have to get to a level of maturity where we're okay with that. It doesn't always have to be a bad thing. And I think that when people try to hold on to something, I said this to one of my children. I said, we were talking about possessive spirits and stuff, because we talk about relationships and all that. And I try to tell them what to be careful of, because I got daughters, man. And women can be possessive, men can be possessive. And that leads to unhealthy stuff, And, I talk about what happens when one particular conversation is, we're dealing with a generation of young guys who don't like the word no. A young man just killed a girl a week or so ago because he said he wanted to be with her and she laughed.
Wow.
And he strangled her. He killed her because she laughed at the thought of them being in a relationship. Now I thought that was pretty cold blooded for her to laugh,
Right.
but she didn't deserve to die.
She didn't sort of die for it. No.
You understand? Like these people don't like the word no anymore.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. They get offended.
And what
hearing the
happens
word
when
no
you
to the
say
point of
no and they won't let it go?
Right. Right.
Right.
I think you know, like when it comes to rebuilding in the end, you know, like you said, when a season's up, I think that's challenging. I know, like, at least the first time it happens, it's challenging to really to let go when we at the end, you know, when our relationship, I guess, no longer serves the same purpose, or even if, you know, if you go from, I know for most people, going from a space where they're working towards and they got a little more hang time because things are popping off, and then now things are happening. It's like I don't have the chill time like we used to have. You know, like you can't just come over. Hey, I'm out the door. I'm going here. I'm going there. You know, I got things happening, and you're not really part of what I'm doing in this season. I'm still here. You can call me, but we're not gonna hang every day. We can't talk every day because there's so much going on. I got my fam, because now I gotta be purposeful with all my bits of time. You know, like, so any downtime I gotta give to the family because I haven't seen them in a week. You know, and things of that nature. And I guess it is having those conversations. And if they're feeling slighted, they can have the conversation with me and we hash it out. You know, I think it's being the bigger person and having the conversation. You know, if they're in their feelings, because for me, you're making the moves. I'm moving around. I don't realize that I'm affecting your feelings. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's obvious. You know, like I'm making the move, but I think it's obvious.
Yeah.
I have a couple of friends, you know, a couple of coworkers that I became real good friends with about 15 years ago. One of them is a veteran like me, and you know, we go out, you know, we shoot our guns, and you know, he has a property up in Nashville, and I have another friend, a Colombian friend of mine, who kind of connected with us, and we all kind of hung out together.
Right.
And then, like when my son, like many years ago, when my son got sick, you know, it kind of shifted everything. I couldn't make the trip to Nashville as often, you know, and then like it used to be like we'd go up there for business meetings, hang out at his place, you know, shoot guns and have fun, and then I'd come back.
Right.
And then I started traveling, going to different places. And what happened with them is it went from just going up there for business meetings, staying at his place, to, you know, meeting in Chattanooga, camping, you know, then starting investing in camping gear. And then they were calling me, hey man, you want to come? You want to come? Hey, nah, man, I can't make it this time.
Right.
Hey, we're gonna go next week. Nah, I need more notice than that, man. I need more notice. You know, I can't make it. Hey, we're gonna go next month. Okay, I'll check back in. Nah, man, I can't make it.
Right.
And it continued to evolve. And you know, a weekend turned into a week of camping. A week of camping turned into 2 weeks of camping. 2 weeks of camping turned into, you know, they bought the same kind of truck. They're like, hey, Brian, man, you want to get we got these Toyotas, we got these Tundras. You can get one. I got a great deal. I got a guy who gets you one. So when you're able to go camping, we'll all have the same equipment.
Right.
And I'm like, awesome. Nah, I need a wheelchair accessible van for my son.
Right.
I can't buy a truck. I need a van.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And they kept asking to the point to where it's like that it evolved into a 2-week trip driving cross country to Colorado. And it's 3 trucks because now there's another guy part of the crew.
Right.
And it's not me. And I'm watching them.
Of course.
Like they all on YouTube. They just started a YouTube channel, you know, and I'm like, those are my dudes.
Right.
You know, and on social media, like we still have our bat channel.
Right.
We communicate all the time.
Right.
Like weekly, daily, you know, but there's another guy in there. And what I'm saying is like they've gone on to do things, you know, they're doing great things, camping. They built a lifestyle of this where their wives are with them and all of that.
Right.
And they've moved into a space. So now if I wanted to get with them, it would probably be uncomfortable for the third guy.
I got you.
Yeah.
Right.
because we never stopped communicating with each other. I'm
Right.
just
Right.
not on the camping trips.
Right.
Right. Right.
And that
right.
guy doesn't know me, but they do.
Right.
So I show up, we'll be having conversations that he knows nothing about.
Right.
But to put it on me, I could be looking at them with envy. I mean, I am envious of it,
Right.
but they're still my friends. And I recognize I'm the one who said I couldn't go.
Right.
Mhm.
That's good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have to live with that and still be friends. I don't cut them off because, they're doing. And what I'm saying is the relationship was never broken. And if I went out and bought a truck and bought a bunch of camping gear, they'd be like, let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I have no idea what it would feel like to this other guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would hope that would work out, but I'm just saying, like, there are a lot of ways that could have happened. We could not be talking anymore.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Over
But
that.
it's important for me to take note of the fact that the invitation was always there. I'm the one who always had something else to do.
Right.
Yeah, that's big.
That is huge.
So listen, guys, we appreciate you guys for rocking and hanging with us. I'm putting a pin in that Kanye West conversation.
Yeah.
We'll probably revisit it from a different angle. I just got to dig into it a little bit. I know about it, but I don't know a lot about all of the situations because it's a relationship dealing with marriage. Great conversation.
Thank you, Mama Corey.
Cool. Appreciate it, Mama Corey. So we're gonna probably dig into. I just want to do a little more research into it. I'm just getting tidbits and snippets, and mostly from opinionated side. So I
I
won't
got nothing. You don't know what happened.
Yeah. So we're gonna dig into it. Get you guys rocking and hanging. Look for seeing you guys same time, same channel, same place. Cole, appreciate you for rocking with us on Monday.
Thank
I know
you, sir.
he hits the
Cameo
beginning.
Cole.
So we look forward to seeing him on Friday. So as always, feet cold, hashtag the feet cold. So look forward to seeing you guys. Same time, same place. Remember to know that we love you. God loves you more. Continue to stay safe. Do the right thing. And we'll see you in the AM. Peace out. As always, we love you. Know that God